question.
Hey YouTube, so I'm back. 2 videos, 1 night. Or is it after midnight yet? Almost. Okay, well this will probably go up after midnight. I'm letting the second video in like an hour, in the span of an hour, be my promise to you that I mean it. I swear this time I mean it. That I will be consistently making these videos from now on. And nothing's going to stop me from doing that. Also, as you hear in my background, I've got May Day Parade this time around because I made 2 May Day references in my description for the last video. So I felt it was only fair. Okay, so I talked about the first day of school. Second day, I think I was also late to my English class. That started at 8:10, ungodly early. I'm not doing that again next semester. Next semester, all of my classes start at 11:10, and I have a day off this time. I managed to configure my schedule so I have Wednesdays off, whereas before I had school every day. Yeah, okay. So, English was cool. My English professor is Hungarian, so another accent, like I said, I think I said this in the last video, as I ranted about my professor's accent. I just love accents. So she was Hungarian, so all of her W's she said with a V, so Winter. That was great all semester. Then I had philosophy, then math. Math has always been a struggle for me. Like, I suck at math, to put it simply. And then it also doesn't help, you know, it's like all visual and stuff. And I'm usually the first blind, legally blind, visually impaired, however I feel like describing myself that day, student that my math teachers and or professors have had. So it's not always, but a lot of times been pretty hard. And this semester was no exception. My professor I tried emailing him, but I found out that he was a visiting professor, so his email was not in the school's directory. So that was annoying, of course. And then I walked into class, and apparently they had an in-class assessment to see at what level everyone was at. At what level? Yeah, that works. And so he, you know, obviously didn't have anything in Braille for me. I read Braille, in case no one guessed. Nothing in Braille for me because it takes a little while for it to be prepared, or, you know, he didn't go to the testing office because he didn't know that he was going to have a blind student in his class. So I kind of just sat there, and then I was using my Braille Note, which is like a portable Braille computer. I don't use it for the internet capabilities, but I do use it for note-taking, reading, writing, a lot of reading and writing. Hold on. Okay, can you see that? I know no one can wait. Okay, for you guys to look at it, go like this. Alright. So these are like the keys. 6 keys for typing, space, enter, backspace, cursor keys, and this is the display screen. So these buttons at the bottom here, I go line by line, and I like read it here. So, you know, again, I read it line by line, and as I click these buttons up front here, I really hope that you can see that. Yeah. Okay, so, he's like, so is that a keyboard? Did he say keyboard? No, he said piano. He's like, oh, that's a piano? And I'm like, no. And he's like, so what is it? And I'm like, it's like a Braille computer. And he's like, oh, that's so cool. And then I ended up having, after class, stayed half an hour to try to explain to him my Braille note and how things worked for me, and, you know, I need things in advance. And for the first half of the semester, and even, no, like, I guess most of the semester, like, I stayed after class about half an hour trying to explain everything to him. And even by the end of the semester, the Braille note still didn't make sense to him. I tried sending him off to the accessibility office, and he still had more questions. I ended up not passing that class. I would have passed it with a D, 68, and I need a C. So one of my majors is going to be psychology. I plan on double majoring in psychology and English with a concentration in creative writing, and double minors in culture, anthropology, and religion. I might not do religion, but we'll see. So, algebra, which is the math I was taking, is a prerequisite to statistics, which is a prereq to declaring the psych major. So I needed a C, at least a C, in algebra, and yeah, I had to take it pass, fail, or credit, no credit. I know people call it different things. My school calls it credit, no credit. So I actually ended up not getting the credit for that class because I would not have gotten the grade I needed to have to redo it and take it again in this coming semester, the spring semester, and it's really annoying because I don't like math. And that class was an hour and 50 minutes long. Like, I was excited to have statistics because it was an hour and 15 minutes. I still don't like it, but like, it's closer to like the periods I had in high school that ranged from 45 minutes to an hour, you know? 2 hours of math. After the like first 50 minutes, I started to check out. But the thing that didn't work out for me was after the first 30 minutes, I'd just start to, like, if I didn't understand, then I'd check out and it just like spiraled from there. Now, throughout this time, like, my professor's pushing, like, you need a reader in class. And I'm like, well, if you just read me what you write on the board, that'd be okay. But he was like pushing that I need a reader. And one of the guys in the testing office, the accessibility office, I walked in on him talking to my professor, like, on the phone, and he was like, oh, you know, sometimes it's hard for us to ask for help. He's also visually impaired. It's hard for us to ask for help, you know, we have to let the students come to it on their own, blah, blah, blah. But he was making it seem like I was refusing help. I know that I need help in math. I know that I had to go to tutoring sessions, and I just didn't need a reader in class. I needed a note taker because I write my math in Braille, and not many people read Braille, so, you know, it would need to be transcribed or written out between the lines so that you sighted would know what I had written. But instead, I had to have a note taker for them to just write down my homework, and it took a little while for us figuring that out, and then also figuring out the textbook, because there was no already Braille version, since we have to use the newest edition, and the homework is online, so we had to figure that out. That's where the note taker came in, and it was an ordeal. So I started later than everybody else. A lot of times I kind of just sat there because I didn't understand fully the content. A lot of it, or I felt a lot of it, was trig based, and I did not do well in trig. Like, I passed with a 78 maybe, because I had a lot of help. But I took the trig regents twice and failed with flying colors, 43 and 42. Yeah. Yes, this whole episode is about math. Like, that's how intense it is. The struggle, my struggle, so real. Oh, approaching my 10 minutes. I have about a minute and a half. Alright, I've got this. And I didn't go off on too many tangents besides this one that I'm going off on right now. Okay, wow, I've been talking a lot. I definitely need water after this. But it just, and I really hate that I have to take this again. And I'm doing better than some of my friends. Like, some of my friends, they're transferring to other schools. Some of them say that they don't have any friends. And I've definitely made, like, a lot of acquaintances and friends and stuff over the semester. Some out of necessity, like asking them to read me things or help me get somewhere if I didn't know where it was. And then some of them just because, you know, people just walked up to me and started talking to me. And people from, like, the chat that I mentioned in the previous video, you know, their friends, I met them. But just math, always math. I even went to some tutoring sessions. It was a requirement. So annoying. And I also planned on, like, I still do plan on graduating early because I started the semester with 12 credits, and my credit plan has shifted a little bit, but hopefully I can still make it work. I have a slight obsession with, like, graduating early because, long story from the past that I'll get into in another video, I know. I've passed my 10 minutes. Alright, well, I've got 5 more minutes until this is 15. Yes, that's how I look at life. What? No. Yeah, anyway. So, math was the main struggle of my semester, because I love English. I did well in that. I had a few issues, which I'll get to in another video, I suppose. But I love English, and, I'm actually a writer, and I participated in NaNoWriMo, or NaNoWriMo, depending on who you're talking to, which is National Novel Writing Month. You have to write 50,000 words in a month. I'll probably cover that when I talk about my dance lessons, just kind of lump the arts and extracurricular stuff all together. But, it always just came back down to my issues in math. Even in Spanish, I was able to be exempt from taking Spanish 101, 102, 201, 202, like the beginner stuff, because I took 4 years of it in high school, so I wanted to go to a more advanced class. I wanted to work on oral communication, because I can read and write Spanish fairly well, but speaking it, I think, I worked so hard at translating into English, and, yes, English is my first language, but I'm not confident in my Spanish skills, so I don't trust speaking, because I guess, I feel that I'm going to make a mistake, and, with writing, I guess this is also why I like writing in general. Do you have time to think? I feel like I'm a fairly good speaker. Don't mind my ums and tangents in this video, but I like speaking. Whatever. So yeah, math was just the main issue, and like I said, I didn't even pass the class with what I needed. Yeah, I wonder, has anyone else had their freshman year? Did they not pass a class? What was your first semester like? One of my friends, also blind, he's fully blind. I can see a little out of one eye. His professors, they just seem to suck. Like, his math professor, I believe it was, tried to teach him print. I don't know how that was going to work. Like, tactily, so he could do the problems that way. One professor had homework online that was not accessible with screen readers, which also get to in another video, or maybe in a blog post. But it wasn't accessible with screen readers, and he tried to explain this to her, but she was just like, you do the work or you fail. So he had to get help from, you said it, he had to get outside help to help him do his homework, and that's pretty insane. So, in comparison, this semester wasn't bad. Like, only one class to have not done well in a class that it's already a weak point. It's not, it's not as bad as it could be, but also, I've never failed anything in my life. Like, maybe I just barely passed with a 65, but I've just never failed. So yeah, that was something. Alright, I'm sure you're probably tired of hearing me ramble about math. Yeah. Peace. No, that's not right. Ciao, sayonara. Hasta luego. I'm gonna stop embarrassing myself now, and I will try to come up with a suitable greeting. Until next time. Au revoir. Until we meet again. Adieu. Wiedersehen? Is that's pronounced? Okay, I'm sorry. I'm going. Yeah, good night, good morning. That felt as awkward as it probably looked. I pinky promise that I'll be making more videos. Pinky promise and the thumb touch.